Hey, welcome back. Gary Brown Forging on. Hopefully everything's turned on okay. I'm gonna block out that. Need to block that out. Anyway, work with what we got, right? That's what I'm trying to do. And what I'm working with is one arm, my left arm, and I'm right-handed. But all I've been doing lately is updates on my rotator cuff surgery. And I was out here just doing the last of an update, and I picked this stuff up the other day, so I thought I'd just do a quick, this is going to be a real short video about, because I probably won't get it up today because I'm only one-handed, and I'm going to have to get somebody to help me hold it in place and put the anchors in. But this is my plan anyway. I wanted to put up a, let me twist that out there a little. I wanted to put up a whiteboard. But I went to look for a decent sized whiteboard, and they're expensive. I mean, a good size one's going to cost anywhere $40–50. I don't know. Maybe y'all know where to get a cheaper one. So I was at Lowe's one day, and I was asking about it, and they sent me over to their wall section. I think it's like the area where you would get wall coverings for your bathroom or something like that. It was over in that general area, and they call them whiteboards. And what they are, as you can see here, it's a 4 foot by 32 inch. If I can get it in there with my arm, sorry my arm's in the way, but you can see it there. It's 4 foot by 32 inch. And what I'm thinking about doing is putting it right there on that wall right there. And I'm gonna put it up and down. I was gonna put it sideways, but I just don't have the room on this wall, and I thought about doing it on the other wall, but I really want to put some other things over there. But I can put this one up over here, and I can draw on it. But the nice part about it is that's a 4 foot by 32 inch board, which I haven't even wrote on it, so I'm hoping it'll erase. Maybe we should try that. What do you think? And I went by Office Depot, and I bought some of their cheap markers, and I bought an eraser. So I can't do nothing with this other arm. Okay. So hey, let's see if this even works. This is going to be a trial for you and me both. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. My wife's out mowing and riding mower, and she stopped all of a sudden, and just wanted to make sure everything was okay. But she's just getting the dog out of the yard so she can mow the yard. So let's see what I can do with this. Oh, something in here is making me want to sneeze. All right, this is going to be hard to do as I get marker on my hand. Okay, let's see. All right, yeah. I like that left-handed coloring. Can't beat that. And put that up there. Give it a second to dry. Wow. Well, isn't that slick? All right, this is going to work great. So what I was going to tell you is, let me get this back in here. I'll make me a little trough, put all this in. So, instead of spending $50 on a decent sized board, that cost me at Lowe's, I think $10. And so then I went and bought a package. I don't know if that's coming out backwards or forwards, but it's a 1/8 inch, hoping that's 1/8 inch thick. It's an 1/8 inch mirror mounting clips. And of course they come with these little anchors that go on the wall, and these extremely, oops, as I dropped that one, these extremely cheap screws just for those anchors, which are doing me no good. And then here's the clips. You can see it's got a little ledge put on there. So I just dug around in my shop and I found some screws like this, but they won't fit through these holes. So I'm just mounting them up. And I just did this because I can't hold anything, including this camera. Let's see if I can twist that down. You can see. Oh, sorry. This is really hard to do when you got one arm. So I got it in my vise here. And I got my drill press. And so I'm just, let me see if I can make this work. Again, I'm sorry for the way this is coming out. So I'm just putting that in. It's just too low. And I'll adjust it here. Like I said, I'm having to do all this stuff one-handed, and it's just tough. So what I did is I put it in this little vise to hold it, so I can do this one-handed. Let me see if I can nail that down. Yeah, you can barely see it in there. Okay, let's start all over. I filmed a whole bunch from when I was doing the drilling, came back to watch it, to see where I left off, because I got kind of interrupted and was coming back, see where I thought train of thought was, and I realized apparently I knocked the wire loose on the microphone and it didn't come out. So I'll just abbreviate what I was saying. So I drilled out these things. I've actually done all of them now, and I also got my I had two of them just because I could use my drill, my cordless drill, and let's see if this holds steady if I use my left hand. I use my cordless drill to so I could just drill in, and I use my left hand and stuff. I made marks anyway. So as you can see. But I've only got it mounted on the bottom two. I don't know if I can get down here where you can see. So, got them on those two. My arm's in the way, but and then this thing here is actually holding it up. And since I can't use my arm, to measure across. The thing's 32 inches wide and 48 inches high. And I kind of had an idea where I wanted to start. It's rough. I say 34 inches off the floor. And then I came from the side, and I can hold something with this. I mean, I'm not unable to use this hand. I just can't lift anything. But just hold it here, and I can bend over and marked it at 8 inches and 24 inches. And then marked 34 inches from the bottom, and I had to do it left-handed with a pencil, but it was a crude mark, but I made them. And then I just used my cordless drill and stuck these on the end of the drill and screwed them in loosely, so they're not even tight right now. And I wonder if I could even line them up, so I picked them up with my left hand and could set it in there, and I could just take this hand, just kind of push against the board without hurting myself. And got it to fall into little clips, and it's behind that bracket, so it or that clamp, so it won't fall forward. But I can't measure across one-handed and mark because I can't get this arm up there. So I'm just going to have to wait and get my daughters or my wife or somebody to help me. But hey, I got a whiteboard, $10. And then I think these little 1/8-inch mirror clips that I'm using has that pattern on there, and I'm doing two at the bottom. I'll put two at the top and one on each side. And I can't remember, this is only a few bucks, I think. So I'm pretty sure for under, like, you know, especially if you can use those screws, that's great. But if you can't, then you might have to buy some more screws. I happen to have these in the shop. So if you want to, do this for under $15, I got a 4-foot by 32-inch whiteboard. And if I had the room for it on the wall, I could easily put a 4x8 sheet, since it's the same stuff that they sell at Lowe's, to go in bathrooms and on basically go on like the bathroom walls. I think that's what this is for anyway, but they actually called it a whiteboard. So who knows? But you just go in Lowe's, go back to the section where they keep it's like wall coverings and stuff like that, and cover boards. It's back near where all the flooring and all that stuff is. And it's the same. When I had the idea, the guy mentioned it, but I had the idea about it, was I made my own home theater system in our basement. It was 6 or 7 years ago, and back then it was a 60 hertz speed-wise 1080p projector. And of course that was pretty good then. It's still pretty good as far as I'm concerned. I know everything's 4K and ultra now and all that, but I'm not going to go buying to try to keep up with whatever. So I went in and I was going to buy a screen, but they're very expensive, a 4-foot by 8-foot screen. And so I thought about buying the quart of screen paint that you paint on something, and that's the best way to go. But at the time, 6-7 years ago, a quart of that stuff was like $140, $150. I didn't want to spend that much money. So I looked online, and there was a thing from Home Depot sells that Behr brand paint, B-E-H-R. And I don't know if they still have it or not. I haven't checked, but it's basically a gray paint, but they called it screen gray, movie screen. I don't know, something like that was actually the name of it. And so I bought it, and then I bought a 4-foot by 8-foot sheet of that kind of wallboard that you put in, around your bathtub. You can get them with the fake squares in them, or you can get them just smooth, slick smooth. So I bought the slick smooth one, but it's a real glossy finish. And I got a little roller, bought a quart of that paint, $8 and something, and I just laid it all out. What I did is I took one, I think it was 1/2 inch by 2 inch slat boards, and I made a frame that was so basically the 4x8 sheet would come halfway into the frame, and then I had a couple of cross pieces in there and had the frame going up and around with a couple cross pieces. And it was, like I said, it was only 1/2 inch thick, but it was it might have been 2 inches wide, 1.5 to 2 inches wide. And then I put all that together with some screws and angle pieces on the back side, and then I laid it over and I painted the whole outside edge of it black, so that it's got a black border, and I let the probably 1/2 inch or so hang out past the 4x8 sheet of wall board, and it was real shiny and glossy slick, so I was worried paint wouldn't stick well to it. So I took a real fine sandpaper and I just lightly sanded the whole thing, and then I just painted. I bet you I put 4, 5, 6 coats, because I just used up the whole quart, whole $8. and the wall board wasn't much, so maybe for $20 or $30 and a little bit of my time, I made the wood frame with the slats. I was going to find some way of screwing it down kind of like this, and everybody said just use contact cement. So I just put contact cement on the back, on the front of the 2 inside strips and along the edge of the outside strips, and then I put them on the same spots on the back of the wall board. And then I just had some help, and we just laid it down exactly even, pressed it down into the contact cement after it sat for a while. And it's been up on the wall for 6-7 years. And what I did is I just put some anchors into the eyelets or something into the top of the framework, and I ran wire, because I'd put my own drop ceiling in our basement, so I had a lot of leftover wire to hang your framework for your drop ceiling. And I just ran it right along, put it against the wall, and just ran it up and put some anchors up in the ceiling, and then I ran the wires down, and that's all that's holding it up. Is just this 2 wires just hanging down, but it's just up against the wall. Nobody, you're not swinging on it, so it doesn't need nothing. So like I said, it's been up there 6-7 years, 8 years. I don't know how long ago I did this, and it works great. Still use it. Just been watching it this past week. Anyway, I got off sidetrack, but it's the same kind of a thing here, except I'm not roughing this up and painting it. It's just going to be a whiteboard, and you could use that same stuff for a whiteboard, which I guess is this stuff, but in a 4x8 sheet if you have the room for it. Sorry for the long drawn out story, just to tell you the same thing. So anyway, that's just an idea. If you want to try to put up a whiteboard in your shop, it's a quick, easy way, 10 bucks. If it messes up, you go buy another one for 10 bucks. If it lasts me a year, I'm out 10 bucks. You know, and I've had a year's worth of use. So who can beat it? A lot better, like I said, than the expensive ones. And it doesn't have a little tray at the bottom for my thing, but you know, when I get my arm back in shape, I might, you know, make me some kind of a little tray, put it in the bottom, or I'll just leave it on a shelf on the next to it and put my markers. Or I could just get that's an idea. I'll just get I got a whole bunch of thick plastic cups from some restaurants like Nukes and that, which you may not have a Nukes around there, but they use thick plastic cups that you just take home when you're done. But the 32-ounce glasses, I may just cut that down, but leave a strip in the back for mounting, and that would be enough to put my pens in, and it may hold the eraser. Hey, just go with an idea. There you go. Anyway, y'all have a blessed day, and start using your whiteboard. If you like this, like it, subscribe below, and leave some comments. Maybe you have some better ideas for whiteboards and what to use, and maybe find a way to find us cheap whiteboards. I'll talk to you later. Have a blessed day. Bye.